It's great to have you on the show. We are super excited to welcome you. Of course, now going by Zahna, which is a lot of fun. And I got to say, I saw the song come up and I was looking through the description of it. I'm like, okay, good. I was hoping that you were going to come out with some more stuff. I know a lot of people know you as being the most recent lead singer of the now defunct band Ilia, but I'm super ecstatic that you're doing new stuff. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Paul. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Oh, absolutely. So let's just get the obvious questions out of the way first, because I know that there will be some people who won't hear a thing that either one of us say until we say, okay, let's just get like the high notes of what happened with Ilia. I mean, I know that they had a past before. I mean, they were a band before you, and now the band's just done, but you were their last lead singer in their existence as a band. Just like I said, no one wants to throw anybody under the bus, but what are kind of some of the high notes of what happened with that?
Well, Paul, I first off want to say I'm so grateful for my time in that band. It has allowed me to have the confidence and, most importantly, meet so many potential fans and people that really got something out of our EP Reborn. And I think that was I can't deny how grateful I am for those 2.5 years and the people who allowed me the opportunity to come in and be a voice and, be a minister through music. So I just want to say that really quick.
Sure.
Towards the end of Ilia, we, there was a couple external influences that kind of came into our system as a band, and it kind of disbalanced the chemistry of the group. I guess you would say it was very abrupt, and I didn't plan on it. But at the end of the day, I think that everything really worked out, and if anything, I'm kind of grateful that things happen the way they do, and I'm just so glad to be here today, releasing this song and getting back in the game. So absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. Now, a lot of people may not know this about you because, a lot of people got introduced to you through Ilia, but you were a kind of a solo artist before joining the band. How do you feel like things have changed in the pre-Ilia and the post-Ilia time for you?
Well, I'll definitely say I didn't know what I was doing before Ilia. I didn't really have a way much into the industry, and also I was very much more an acoustic artist. I wrote a lot of acoustic songs, and I was kind of, marketing that way. But in my high school band, which nobody knows anything about except, if you were one of my best friends who went to high school with me, I was a rock singer in our rock band that me and my friends formed. And so when I transitioned to Our Divine Romance, which was my solo acoustic project, there was always this sense of longing to go back into rock because I knew that I had something to offer with rock music. I knew that I had a uniqueness to my voice that, and plus just the live aspect was so much more fun than just being attached to a guitar,
Right.
And so when I finally started seeking engineers and producers, they were like, this has a lot of potential to be a full band. What would you if we got some studio musicians? And I kind of just let it happen. And then that opened a lot more opportunities to the point where, I discovered Ilia, was looking for a new singer, and I had previously known them as a band, and I listened to you, and I, didn't really expect much to come up of it, but I made the audition, and I joined Ilia, and I learned a lot, like I said before, and I was surrounded by so many great people, and I've met so many amazing people that have helped me reach where I am today. So the post experience is very different in the sense that I've matured a lot in the sense of the business aspect. Mm-hmm. And also just I picked up a few tricks along the way. So it's definitely a new ball game. And if anything, I feel like this is the real beginning of my career, and I couldn't be happier.
Nice. Fantastic. Of course, now we will be playing during the show the brand new single, which you've just dropped, called Underneath. Tell us about that song, just whatever you want to let people know about it.
Absolutely. So it's really funny. I always tell people the best songs that I've ever written just come to me. I'm in the most random place doing the randomest thing, and I get this song like a download in my head. Uh-huh. And it just won't go away for hours. I'm like, you know what? This is really good. I'm going to record it. And so when I recorded it on my phone, I kind of just started mumbling things. And actually, I was on tour when this song came to me with Ilia. I was at some RV park. I don't even know what I was doing. So it was just another day on the road, and I recorded it, and whenever I record a song, I kind of mumble these words, and what I really heard when I mumbled, just whatever came to me, was the phrase, "Your eyes don't sleep." And I was, that's really interesting. Why is this phrase coming to me? And I always tell people, I feel like God gives me these words. I don't know where they come from. They just do. And when I really started to sing a little bit more about it, I kept hearing the word underneath. And, reading my Bible and knowing, in Psalms it says, that God sees the human heart. There's nothing that we can hide from him. He sees the whole span of humanity. He sees what's really in their heart. I wanted to make this song about we can seem like we're all perfect on the outside, but we know that there's darkness in every single human being. We are all capable of good and evil, and only God is the accurate judge when he sees us. So the song is really about someone experiencing these demons that, they're kind of in denial about, and they know that God sees them in their condition. And I love the song because it is a little dark, and it tells you, they're addicted to substances and hatred and idolatry, as it says in the first verse. But the pre-chorus says, I know your love's unfailing. Do you see what's hidden underneath? And I believe that, no matter how evil we judge somebody to be or how evil we think we are or beyond redemption of a situation, God really knows the truth of every circumstance, and he judges the human heart. So yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. I like that. Now, the sound, of course, is pretty reflective, I guess, of the subject matter itself, in that it's a little darker and it's got a heavy edge to it and some electronics. Is this, do you think, going to be pretty indicative of the rest of the music that is going to be released out of the same batch?
I believe it's a very good middle ground for the music on the album. I think that, we kind of chose this one because like I said, it's the middle ground. There's going to be some songs that are definitely pretty dark, actually, and it's kind of this album is so important to me because it was kind of me coping with the circumstances before I went solo, and there is a lot of honesty in it, and I always tell people, I love to be honest. I'm never going to be a liar. I will always tell the truth, but in the truth, there's always God, and there's always a story behind it. And every single one of my songs, I make sure that they have a testimony behind it. like this song was about this circumstance in my life, but God has redeemed it. And I love telling people what music is about. My music is about because I get to share the testimony aspect. And so there's also a couple songs on the album that will be a little bit more radio worthy, a little bit more mainstream sounding. Okay. And then you have the flip side, which is also a little bit screaming and harder, and which is my favorite type of music. So I'm excited.
Well, when I was seeing kind of the credits for the song, I noticed that two of the people who helped work on this with you, whether it be performing or kind of co-writing, I guess, were two of the members of Random Hero. How did that come about?
Oh, so actually Random Hero and Ilia and Random Hero did a summer tour together in 2016. And I don't know if you knew, but me and Patrick, the drummer, kind of hit it off, and now we're dating. So it was really awesome. So yeah, I'm dating him right now, and he's amazing, and I love him so much. But after the whole thing kind of went down with Ilia, these two guys, they just came to my rescue, and it just made a girl's dreams come true. I can't speak highly of them enough as gentlemen and as men of Christ, because I'm trying not to tear up. Yeah, they mean a lot to me, and Bertrand is just a brother to me, and he has opened his home. Joshua Bertrand, he's a guitarist for Random Hero, and he's just such a man of God. They really believed in me. They believed in my talent, and they were like, you know what, we're going to write you a record, and it's going to be amazing. And so we have a business relationship now, and I'm so grateful for their talent. I just can't say enough good things about them.
Now, with the project, I mean, we haven't discussed the length of this thing. I mean, is it going to be an EP, or are you thinking it's going to be a full length? What are we looking for?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Paul, I am tired of EPs, and I told them, look, this is going to be a good, long full length, because I haven't released music since, anything original of mine since 2014 with Ilia. And, Ilia and I were working on a record to be released in 2016. And, when that didn't happen, it was really frustrating for me as an artist because I have so much material that I've been waiting to get out into the world, and just all this junk and garbage keeps getting in the way. So I'm like, you know what? As the boss now, I'm going to say I'm tired of EPs, and this is going to be a full length. So we're expecting about 10 to 12 songs on the album, and I couldn't be happier about that.
Now, how did y'all get hooked up with the producer that you're working with on this one?
The producer is Josh Bertrand. He did produce. I have John Harrell.
That's what I was thinking of.
The project. Yeah, John Harrell, he has worked with a couple of the Christian industry bands, and I didn't actually know of him until my radio representative, Donna Del Sesto, recommended him. Mm-hmm. And Bertrand was really busy being on the road. The guys were on tour with Seventh Day Slumber and on the City Rock Fest tour with Disciple and all these people, these awesome bands. I'm so happy for them. And so Bertrand was kind of running out of time where he didn't have time to mix the project. So we're like, well, we'll just outsource it and we'll try to get this single out as soon as possible. So that's how we came about with John.
Awesome.
And he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, no kidding. And that was one of the things that I was happy about, because I always have this kind of lingering fear whenever a band does do a new /solo project that I never know quite what to expect. It's because I've seen my share of people who are like, well, I'm going to do this on my own now. And then they put out something, I'm going, yeah, but you need some money. You need money back. It's like, that's great and all. I'm glad that you're doing your thing, but yeah, you need to figure out, you need to do a Kickstarter. You need to do a Kickstarter now.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was really against the Kickstarter, and because, I hadn't released material in so long, and with the whole fall of Ilia, I was really feeling terrible for the fans and everybody who had pre-ordered our album and, not being able to deliver that.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to have to find a way, with personal loans or, because I have to make this big. There's no going back. I have to make it, go big or go home kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we made it happen in the budget that we had, and I'm completely shocked that, the quality is just excellent, to be honest with you. So I just have everyone to thank because of that. They just really stepped up to the plate. And, I maybe we'll be looking at a Kickstarter next time, but I really wanted to cultivate my fan base before I asked anybody for anything.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. Now, it sounds like kind of what we were talking about before we actually started recording, that at least most of the album is kind of not done as in finished, but recorded at least at this point, and is kind of in the mixing process. What kind of timeline should fans kind of be thinking about in terms of the whole thing being out there for them to be able to get?
Well, that's a good question. It really does depend on kind of Bertrand and Patrick's schedule, but I can tell fans that most of the music aspect is already recorded. I just have to go in and knock out vocal tracking for about 5 songs. Okay. Then it has to just get sent to mixing. So, then I have to also talk to Donna and radio reps and see, when is a good time to release, what quarter is a good time to release the album sales-wise. But I don't see it happening until at least October of this year for it to be ready. And that's, that's at the earliest. But also it's not going to be later than January of 2018. I've already put my foot down on that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because I want this out just as much as everyone else. So
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally understand that. So out of all of the time with your time before Ilia and with Ilia, and to get to the point where you're at now, what do you think is the most valuable thing that you've learned that you're excited to be able to put into the new record?
So, yeah, Paul, to be honest with you, I think that the most valuable thing I've learned as an artist in this time is confidence. And there was a lot of things that I wasn't confident in myself to handle the business aspect, or confident in myself as an artist, that I really believe now that I am capable of writing an amazing album and that people will genuinely enjoy it. And so there's a lot of things in the album that, I'm not going to be afraid to say anymore. I'm not going to whitewash or anything. But if anything, for touring, I just, the confidence aspect, I get people asking me all the time, how are you a good performer? How do you, engage the people so much? And I said, dude, I wasn't always like this.
Right.
It took a lot of industry professionals to tell me, you have I don't want to sound conceited, but you have the potential to be a rock star. Right. And I didn't compute that. I didn't understand. I was like, but I'm just a girl from Texas and nobody knows who I am. And I just want to praise the Lord with my music. And so I think it's just the era of Zahna is going to bring something that is just confidence. That's what I would just want to show people, that, you know, hey, I'm an artist now and I can stand on my own 2 feet and this is who I am, kind of thing. So I just want to pour who I am into this new music, and I want people to fall in love with that, you know, and fall in love with Christ through these songs because he lives in me, you know. So I hope that answers your question.
No, I think it does. I think it does for sure. So we're going to try to release the album, you know, I guess towards the end of the year, more or less. And with it being kind of unknown as to what kind of a band situation would be at this point, do you have any thoughts to when a tour might be happening?
I definitely told myself my priority the rest of this year is to just get the album out. Sure. And I'm going to start looking into touring next year, as soon as I can. I want this, as soon as the album releases, I want to start touring and, you know, getting copies out there. As for members, I have a lot of, I guess, requests, you know, people asking me, hey, you need a band? I'm here. You know, I got a lot of that already. But I will be holding auditions. You know, touring experience will be required. Yeah. And, you know, obviously they'll get paid. I mean, I don't know how much yet, but the touring experience will definitely be worth it. And I'm going to be looking for professional, exceptional musicians and nothing less, you know. So that's kind of the plan. That is, if Bertrand and Patrick are unable to fill in the positions, then I will be looking for others to fill in.
Cool. Sounds great. Cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to throw out there before we wrap things up? I feel like I've taken a lot of your time already, but is there anything else that you just want people to know?
Oh, not a problem. I just want to thank everybody for staying with me, I think, and believing in me. And I just can't thank people enough for that. And I promise not to let you down. That's all I want to say.
Cool. Awesome deal. Well, I can't wait to see where this goes. I know that, of course, anything is possible with God, and I think that you got the talent to take it there. And of course, having you know, half of Random Hero helping out behind the scenes does not hurt at all. So I think that you are in great shape and in good hands. And hopefully, the next time we'll be talking about how fantastic the whole new record is.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much, Paul, for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.